and the time that it takes to deliver and have a space that is usable for your business.
The future of construction is no longer defined solely by bricks and cement. Around the world, digital design, precision engineering, and factory-based manufacturing are reshaping how buildings are delivered. As Uganda continues to industrialize, innovations that improve productivity, reduce costs, and shorten construction timelines can become a key driver of economic growth, investment, and job creation. As companies continue to develop smarter, faster, and more sustainable solutions, they are not only meeting consumer needs, but also driving Uganda's industrial growth and economic transformation. Thank you so much for being part of this week's edition of Made in Uganda. Once again, we value your feedback. Reach out to us across all socials. We're using the hashtag NBS Made in Uganda. At NBS TV, at Nabakoza Lydia, at Isabella Tugume. Take care. God bless. Let's catch up next week. Same time, same place. I am Isabella Tugume.
NBS. Always. NBS Live at 9.
Well, we're very excited to return for day 2 as NBS celebrates 80 years. Now, guys, while I was here for 15 of those years, it's a journey that started with NBS Your True Source, but a futuristic projection into today's NBS Always. My name is Mebo Twegumiezake, so welcome to NBS Live at 9. Tonight, the pulse of Uganda's oil resources. Can they be turned into an industrial economy?
Mebo will be answering that and more. Plus, Cabinet has okayed a new bill that could pave way for an authority that will regulate food and agricultural products. My name is Shidan Huchri.
And I'm Solomon Serwanja. Welcome to the newscast. Meanwhile, members of parliament are returning from recess as the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, says that human rights issues will be top on agenda for the 12th parliament. Tonight, we speak with Kampala Central Member of Parliament, former Francis Babu, to share his thoughts on what the 12th parliament will actually look like. First of all, let's go for the top stories.
Instead of taking this all this pain.
Emotions run high after Lukwago petitions court to allow him take pills that can lead to his slow death.
I know how to die.
Obore and co-accused returned to prison for another 3 weeks after court denied them bail.
27th, 8th, 9th.
The institute is okay for all
10 a.m.
at 10.
Also coming up, Parliament is back from recess. What should be their priority in the next coming days?
The human rights question.
Parliament designates members to committees. We tell you who will serve where.
Templar revisiting Uganda's Titanic that sank, killing 32 revelers.
This is NBS Live at 9.
Evening once again. My name is Shidan Huchri. Welcome to this special broadcast as we commemorate 18 years of NBS. We start in court because former Kampala Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago made an appeal before the Makindye Chief Magistrates Court, saying his deteriorating health condition requires urgent specialized treatment that he may only receive after bail. Lukwago, who appeared virtually during proceedings in which he faces a charge of misprision of treason, asked the court to grant him bail for medical attention. He told the court that if his request is denied, he should at least be allowed access to his medication to end his suffering with ease.
When parties in the case in which former Kampala Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago faces a charge of misprision of treason returned to the Makinde Chief Magistrates Court, Lukwago appeared virtually. The available Grade 1 Magistrate, Ida Nanjala, informed the parties that the Trial Magistrate, Chief Magistrate Anne Basemera, was unavailable and that the matter would only be mentioned before being adjourned.
I am sure that you would be interested in knowing why the accused person has not appeared.
The development drew objections from the defense team, which argued that the court should first establish why Lukwago had not been produced physically before considering an adjournment. The lawyers also urged the court to take into account what they described as his deteriorating health condition.
The court would be interested in knowing the state of health of the person that was sent to hospital. Probably that's what he wanted for addressing.
Addressing the court virtually, Lukwago said his health had worsened despite receiving several medical recommendations from different specialists while in prison. He told the court he had not received the specialized treatment he requires and became emotional as he spoke about repeated denials of bail.
Can you, Mr. Moma and the others, advise me to raise the legs up?
Lukwago said he was living in constant severe pain and appealed for bail to seek treatment. He added that if bail could not be granted, he should at least be allowed to access medication that would permanently end his suffering.
If I may make a last prayer, Your Worship, instead of taking me through all this pain, I've been put on some palliative care so that the die be less painful death. Otherwise, the pain is too much. I know I will die.
Referring to his medical report, Lukwago told the court that specialists at Mulago National Referral Hospital had spent about a week examining his heart, lungs and other organs before recommending specialized treatment. He said the report identified 5 threatening conditions requiring urgent medical attention. According to Lukwago, these include breathing complications linked to a lung condition, a neck bone injury that he said had been scheduled for treatment in India, an ear condition requiring specialized medication, although he said he only receives basic painkillers in prison, a hernia requiring surgery, and a heart condition that also needs specialized care.
No rescue is made to get my situation addressed as advised by the consultants from Mulago. It's a death sentence for me.
He told the court these conditions require treatment and equipment, including a specialized mattress and pillow, which he said are unavailable in prison.
Even that is a temporary measure. The lifestyle change is a temporary measure. All I need is to have a surgery so that they deal with that hiatus and that is causing a serious danger of having gut cancer.
Defense lawyer Medad Segona asked the court to direct prison authorities to limit themselves to medical care within their capacity and allow Lukwago access to specialized treatment where necessary.
That he needs to live according to the prescriptions made by his doctors, including the use of a tinnitus pillow, which has since been dismantled by prison authorities. And the reason was simple, that they did not understand it. Now, instead of seeking to understand, you move in to act in a manner that is injurious to life.
Grade 1 Magistrate Ida Nanjara adjourned the case to July 16th, saying issues related to the conduct of proceedings would be addressed then. The defense team indicated it would return to court the following day to pursue matters relating to Lukwago's health and treatment.
In other news, on remand, 7 senior parliamentary staff members accused of running a 37 billion shilling graft syndicate will spend the next 3 weeks on remand after anti-corruption court deferred their bail application due to jurisdictional constraints.
Well, these had returned for mention of the case of embezzlement causing financial loss and money laundering.
Parliament's Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Chris Obore, and 7 others appeared before the Anti-Corruption Grade 1 Magistrate, Esther Asimwe, for the mention of their case, including embezzlement, causing financial loss and money laundering. At court, defense lawyers of the different accused persons told court that they had filed for bail at the High Court, while others were intending to file bail applications to have their clients released.
My team also holds the view that even before committal, we file applications in the High Court for bail, and that's what we intend to do.
It would be so unfortunate to arrest and arraign someone before a court when you are not concluded with the investigation. Your Worship, what will happen tomorrow if after the inquiries it is found that Okema Leonard did not commit the offense of teaching? But of course in Uganda anything is possible.
While Elute Stella, who is a co-accused in the embezzlement and causing financial loss matter, escaped arrest after she failed to turn up Basara ready for the accused person. Court until today has not issued or questioned the pronounced absence of Elute Stella, a staff of the office of the Sergeant at Arms. The state, however, noted that any bail application in this court would not stand as the heaviest charge determines the jurisdiction. Prosecution asked for further adjournment, indicating that the investigations are in the advanced stages that would see the matter committed to High Court. This did not go well with some defense lawyers who questioned why the state arrests and fumble with investigations later.
The state seeks your indulgence and requests that the matter be adjourned to another date to enable us to complete investigations and the indictment so that this matter can move to the High Court.
The magistrate, Esther Asimwe, told the court that entertaining any matter on bail would cause challenges in the proceedings since some of the accused persons have already filed for bail. Shut down the matter to 27th July.
27th, 8th, 9th.
Meanwhile, in an application dated 6th July, the Director of Communications at Parliament, Chris Obore, has asked the High Court to grant him bail on conditions that he's a first-time offender. In his sworn affidavit, he points out that he's a sole breadwinner of his young family who are currently struggling to secure food, school fees and medical care because of his detention, stating he does not pose any threat to the investigations and that he has substantial sureties.
You're still watching NBS Live at 9, coming to you from the Political Command Center, a special edition as we commemorate 18 years of NBS. Now, court orders issued on Monday, the 6th of July 2026, have cleared the way for a formal judicial inquiry into one of Uganda's most politically charged unresolved killings. The High Court in Arua has directed the Arua Chief Magistrates Court to conduct an official inquest into the death of Yasin Kauma, the driver of opposition leader Robert Chagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, who was shot dead nearly 8 years ago. In a long-awaited judgment delivered via email on July the 6th, Lady Justice Harriet Grace Magala ruled that it is both just and fair that in the interest of justice, the deceased's family and the public to establish the definitive facts surrounding the violent death. Now, the ruling stems from miscellaneous cause number 0008 of 2019, filed by Kauma's widow, Alice Mwesigwa, and she sought court intervention to compel the government to look into her husband's killing. Mwesigwa's application originally targeted General Jeje Odong, the Minister of Internal Affairs at the time, and the Attorney General asking the court to force the minister to appoint a specific coroner.
And you're still watching NBS Live at 9. You should know that Parliament has approved the designation of legislators for both the standing and sectoral committees, with former Speaker Anita Among designated to the Committee of Government Assurance and Implementation that will be chaired by Mityana Municipality Member of Parliament Francis Zake. So Parliament also created a new committee dubbed Subsidiary Legislation that will be mandated with the role of following up on Parliament's legislation, and we want to take a look at this development. So the designation of committees. When you look at the Public Accounts Committee, Central, as they are divided, we have the chairperson, Patrick Nsamba Oshabe, and then at vice chairperson position, Lwansalula Sarah. Then we go to Kosase Steele, talking about the Public Accounts Committee. Chairperson Muwada Nkunyinji, the vice chairperson, has gone to George Musisi. And then the Rules, Privileges and Discipline, the chairperson is Ruhindi, Honorable Ruhindi Freid, and then Honorable Swaib Abdu Kampanya as the vice chairperson. Well, still looking at the designated committees, the Budgetary Committee has Honorable Amos Kankunda as the chairperson, the vice chairperson Dr. Tom Aliti Chandia, and then the National Economy Committee has the chairperson as Pachuto, Honorable Pachuto Jen, and in vice chairperson position, Honorable Remigio Achia. The Equal Opportunities, that is a very, very important committee with the vice chairperson, Honorable Avako Melsa, and Honorable Lamwaka Catherine in the chairperson position. And then the Government Assurance and Implementation Committee brings back Honorable Francis Zake in the chairperson position. Honorable Adeke Ani, well, takes in the vice chairperson, and then Honorable Betty Namboze, Public Accounts Committee, Local Government chairperson there. Honorable Abdul Nasser Mudiovole, vice chairperson when it comes to the Public Accounts Committee, Local Government, and then on the Committee of HIV AIDS, the vice chairperson is Honorable Nsereko Madina, and in chairperson position, Honorable Chisa Stephen. And finally, the Human Rights Committee, Honorable Wilson Kajwenje, yes, in the chairperson position. Vice chairperson there has Honorable Mirembe Lydia, and then the Committee on Climate Change. Chairperson is Honorable Bajire Henry. In the vice chairperson position, it's Honorable Wanyenya Shafiga, and chairperson for the Science and Technology Committee is Honorable Samuel Opio. And finally, in vice chairperson position is Honorable Lubega George, that is designated on the Science and Technology Committee. Then earlier we were talking about the subsidiary legislation committees. The vice chairperson is Honorable Mercy Kanyesige, and her chairperson is Honorable Mujungu Jennifer. Well, these are the designated parliamentary committees. Just
We are staying in Parliament because political analysts are divided over Parliament's priorities as the House resumes its sittings, with some calling for urgent debate on human rights and the rule of law. While the ruling NRM insists the focus should instead be on poverty eradication, the fight against corruption, and strengthening oversight of government programs.
Following the election of Parliament sectoral committees and reconstitution of the Parliamentary Commission, attention has now turned to the legislative agenda and the issues lawmakers should prioritize as the House resumes business. Veteran politician Alice Alaso says Parliament should immediately table a debate on the state of human rights and the rule of law, arguing that both have significantly deteriorated. She maintains that these are the country's most pressing concerns and says Parliament must assert its independence in addressing them.
For Parliament to be relevant, it must deal with the issues now as of priority, the things that are affecting the soul of Uganda. And what are those issues? The human rights question, the governance question, and the transition question.
Political analyst Professor Rogers Baligayomwe says that as government steps up the fight against corruption, Parliament and its committees should intensify oversight of public institutions to ensure accountability and strengthen anti-corruption efforts.
Government has said the agenda of fighting corruption, so now since they are well constituted, they should now start their supervisional role and then writing reports in that area. So Parliament's role is to bring out these reports, and then we see if the executive will act as they promised to.
But Gayome also agrees that Parliament cannot ignore the broader governance challenges facing the country. Together with Alaso, he says lawmakers should prioritize discussions on the rule of law while remaining responsive to the concerns of the people they represent.
The military has made its position clear, the executive has made its position clear. However, the Parliament, which would be the voice of the people, should come up and give the exact voice of the people on the ground.
They must understand what's happening in this country. For instance, have we had a veiled transition? Are we now a military state?
Meanwhile, NRM Secretary General Richard Tudong says the government's priority remains lifting Ugandans out of poverty through modern agriculture and livestock farming. He says Parliament should play its oversight role by ensuring government programs are effectively implemented and deliver results.
And so whatever appropriation that will be done in Parliament, whatever oversight the Parliament will be doing, whatever committees of Parliament that will be working, the focus must be towards fighting poverty in the countryside and making sure that the budget is implemented to the latter and it addresses the core concern of the government and the party. And so we believe that this leadership of the various committees and Parliament bodies will help us implement this vision, and that means every leader must act as an example. The President has told us everybody should be an example in the areas where he or she comes from.
You're watching NBS Live at 9 from the Political Command Center. All right, let's continue with the Parliament's question. Tonight we speak with former Member of Parliament for Kampala Central and Minister, Captain Francis Babu. Captain Francis Babu, thank you so much for joining us for NBS Live at 9. Everyone is talking about Parliament. Firstly, we should start with the singular question of Parliament's independence to do its work as one arm of government, independent of the executive and the judiciary. Is that even possible, Captain Francis Babu? Captain Francis, if you can hear me, my question is on the independence of the... Oh yeah, so no, as this... All right, Captain, I was just asking on the independence of Parliament, independent of the executive and the judiciary. Can Parliament be an independent arm of government?
I think a lot of you who are very educated are a little bit confused. The government is one unit with three trinity. You have the executive, you have the Parliament, and you have the judiciary. They all work together. In fact, the executive and Parliament virtually work horizontally together. This utopian thinking that there is independence here and independence there is totally irrelevant. What they do, each one has got a function. And the function of Parliament is very clear. They pass the legislative work, they do the budget, they do oversight, and there's nothing there which says they cannot work with the executive in order to run the country. This thing, the fever everybody has, independence, that's not strictly. Horizontally, all of them work together. And the one that comes between the two, if there is a little bit of pull and push, is the judiciary between the executive and the Parliament. Now, there's one point here that you've got to get very, very clear, and I think this should come. People have this belief that most of the stuff that comes from government to Parliament should not be followed. That's not true. Most of the work that Parliament does actually comes from the executive. All they do is to look at it and advise the executive where they can change here and there, or they can accept what they've brought. So that thing, independence, I don't know where it is coming from. Government is one unit, and the big G is got the three trinity. So I'm sorry, I don't agree with that concept.
I don't know if I agree with you. I disagree with you entirely, because there's a reason as to why their independence must be observed for checks and balances and checking government excesses.
That is your wish, but they have to work together in order to get the country moving. One cannot be independent from the other and get the country working. It can't. They have to work together to run the country. They've got to be like the wheels in the gearbox, where the different wheels work together to move the car forward. Therefore, to move this country forward, the parliament and the executive have to work together in most of the cases. Very rarely will you find that they have a pull and push. Normally they work together.
I'll keep that disagreement to myself. I may keep that disagreement to myself, so on that we can agree to disagree. But let's talk about, Captain, let's talk about the 12th Parliament that is officially beginning. I wanted to really check with you on what should be the priorities of the 12th Parliament.
Well, one of the priorities they have just passed the budget. In my opinion, the oversight has to be very strong, because the implementation of the former budget was not 100%. Most of the time they have told us they're 70% in some areas, 80% in the others. Therefore, the oversight of Parliament is going to be extremely important, that they follow through to see that some of this is implemented. The other point that is extremely important is to see the new bills that will be brought by government where they can work. But one of the most important area I would like Parliament to put their hands on is the word corruption. Corruption has been downsized. It's a very big thing in our country. It has affected our talents, our good workers. It has affected our institution. It has affected the running of government. It has affected Parliament itself. It has affected the executive. Therefore, the corruption should be looked at in its entirety. A lot of people think corruption is exchange of money. No. Corruption is also in the minds of those who are indisciplined and those who are carrying out what the President called impunity, and we need a little bit more discipline in everything that we do. Therefore, corruption, in my opinion, should be studied very seriously by all arms of government.
Especially for the Parliamentary Commission that in the recent past, of course, has been blamed for rampant syndicated corruption. Captain Francis Babu, thanks for speaking to us tonight.
Well, and Live at 9 continues. The leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, is tasking government on specific issues that relate to plans on scrapping bail, which he described as constitutional right, and urged the president's legal advisors to counsel him on the matter. He was speaking during today's parliamentary sitting. Senyonyi said any move to remove bail must be carefully weighed against the constitution and the rights of the accused persons.
To show the impunity, take the case of Besigye.
Addressing the nation on Saturday, the president raised the issue of scrapping bail for some prisoners, saying they are a threat to the witnesses in their cases.
There's been a lot of talk to begin disregarding bail.
Speaking during the Tuesday parliamentary sitting chaired by Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, tasked government to provide clarification on its plan of scrapping bail, describing it as a constitutional right.
Bail, application for bail is a legal right in our constitution. Let us not scrap it. Let us not even think about that, because Article 28(3) of our constitution, the presumption of innocence, that's why somebody can show up in court and say, okay, now that I am innocent until court determines otherwise, let me be tried as I come from home. But if government now begins to moot the idea to say, for certain offenses we should scrap bail, you are judging this person guilty before court does.
He asked the president's legal advisor to consider advising the president, saying the move will affect all Ugandans regardless of their political affiliations.
I really hope that colleagues in government will advise against this matter, because as we have seen now, any of us is a potential client for court and jail. So if you're produced in court tomorrow, you also want to exercise that right to say, let me apply for bail.
The leader of the opposition also raised the concern over the continued incarceration of several Ugandans, including Sam Mugumya and other opposition people.
Sam Mugumya was also detained, and for several months, he has not been produced in any court of law. Why? Because if he is meant to answer to certain charges, produce him in court. Another gentleman, Right Honourable Speaker, is a gentleman called Amos Lwangomani, who was detained in August of 2025. Again, his family has been looking for his whereabouts.
So I would suggest that indeed you again get all these names. We try to sit under the other fora which this House knows about, that as a Prime Minister, Minister for Security, Minister for what, we follow up on these cases and then we report.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Speaker has directed the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to urgently intervene and investigate the ongoing standoff at the Uganda Human Rights Commission and present a report to Parliament.
We need to know what exactly is happening in the Human Rights Commission. Otherwise, speaking, I don't think we have anything happening in that commission. People are fighting each other.
Right Honourable Speaker, I think this needs a substantive paper to be brought and explanation properly submitted and ready before this Honourable Assembly.
Thank you. My guidance is that the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs should follow up on the issue of the Human Rights Commission.
You're watching NBS Live at 9. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwo, has announced that the long-delayed new parliamentary chamber construction, which began about 10 years ago, will finally be completed in December 2027. Well, according to him, the facility will address congestion beyond the main chamber, easing pressure on the committee rooms, office spaces, and other parliamentary facilities that have been overstretched for years. His update follows the concern raised by Kazo Member of Parliament Daniel Kimosho during Tuesday's sitting, who, by the way, pointed out that hundreds of MPs were forced to stand because there were not enough seats in the August Assembly.
The Speaker shall ensure that each member has a comfortable seat, taking into consideration the age or disability of a member. That is 7 of 9. Right Honourable Speaker, as you can see, all the entrances and exits of the chamber are filled with members. I am seeking for your guidance on how we shall continue to proceed, especially in case there is a fire alarm, the stampede that can happen, and how we shall manage. I request you to bear with us. We have received the report on the progress of our new chambers, and we are going to be meeting our contractors. The Right Honourable Speaker, we talked as I was entering here, he was reviewing that report. We are putting them on pressure. The progress these days has been good because we had to use other methods of even insisting on paying subcontractors directly so that work could move, you know. And we promise by the end of next year, the chambers will be ready. But for now, we should be improvising. But honourable colleagues, the House has just started. I want to have reality. I want after 6 months, I also want you to be full like this.
Feedback brought to you by
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
We're really happy to get your feedback because we earlier asked you, what are your expectations for your MPs as they start business? Put it better, what is that one thing that you want your member of parliament to focus on as they begin business? And let's sample some of your thoughts and comments. We start with Derek Aim Taremwa, who says that the top priority should be to genuinely represent the people by listening to their concerns, advocating for their needs, and ensuring government policies and resources improve the lives of the community. An effective member of parliament should remain accessible, transparent, and accountable. I'm not sure about accessible. All right, Cosmas Mutuhaire, usual suspect here. He says that once sworn in, an MP should focus on 3 critical actions to start their term effectively. Study the rule of procedures, that I agree with you, set up a constituency office to keep the MP directly connected to the voters who elected him or her, and recruit competent research staff. Well, in Cosmas, thank you for your feedback. Let's look at, I guess keep those comments coming, and I'm really happy to really sample some of those later on as we continue with this broadcast. You're watching NBS Live at 9. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
How do you make a party? You take time to prepare, to bring all the pieces together, to craft it right. The result, great refreshment. And that makes it time well spent. Club, brewed longer for longer refreshment.
Hello, Mr. Mkasa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. Are you the broker?
The original one.
I was told you have very good rentals.
That is right. How many bedrooms do you want?
I want 3 bedrooms.
Okay, did I tell you of the price?
Yes, of course. 500,000.
No. This side, the salary went a bit high.
Why?
Because the paint we use is of good quality. So the place gained the value.
Which paint?
Global paint.
How?
For the ceiling, for us we use Global Matte. And for the inside walls, we use Global Silk Vinyl.
Okay, tell me about the outside walls.
Outside we use Global Weather Coat Emulsion so that the walls don't peel.
I'm really impressed. The precision you put while painting, I'm willing to pay any amount.
That is true, because here for us quality is paramount and the place becomes humidity.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
The problem is the foundation.
Do you know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
Malayuni Pride Bank. It is so easy. You just have to maintain a minimum monthly balance of 100K and we'll give you health insurance for free. The bigger the balance, the bigger the benefits. Visit a nearby branch or call 0800 333 999 to learn more.
Pride Bank. Your growth is our pride.
Uganda's economic future is being shaped now. Get the insights, connections, and policy perspectives you need to stay ahead. Join leading professionals, business leaders, and policymakers at the 14th CPA Economic Forum under the theme, Powering Uganda's $500 billion Future. Join us from the 15th to the 17th of July, 2026 at the Imperial Resort Beach Hotel, Entebbe, or attend online. Register now at www.icpau.co.ug. The 14th CPA Economic Forum. Be a part of the conversation shaping Uganda's future.
There is a new era of elegance and it begins at your event. At Pero Events, we have upgraded with fresh, modern, stylish event pieces designed to transform any space into a masterpiece. From luxury tents to elegant furniture to premium mobile washrooms, hand wash stations, lounge sets, parasols, wooden chairs, modern chair set, banquet setup. Peno Events. Safe, reliable, stylish. Book now.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
MTN voice bundle. Ay. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later. Hey, Mama.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
You need a bigger space to grow your business.
You need to be ready for any season.
You need to stop here before we roll.
You need faster checkouts for these busy days.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
Well, this special edition of NBS at 18, NBS Live at 9 continues. We'll still be here tomorrow, Wednesday, and of course on Thursday. Many people have been asking whether we're back, so it's why we've decided to emphasize that it's been 4 special days of us.
They want you back.
Oh la la, Hazar.
Yeah, this is obviously a special edition. We have our day jobs that we'll be returning to after this week. Definitely.
Did you have to say that?
So, yeah, we're here for only a good time.
Good.
Short time and good time.
Okay.
Now let's revisit a story that made headlines in the course of these 18 years that NBS is commemorating. MV Templar capsized on Lake Victoria on November the 24th, 2018, tragically claiming the lives of over 30 revelers. The unlicensed vessel, carrying 96 to 120 passengers, suffered repeated engine failures, tilted heavily to one side for about 20 seconds, and rapidly sank, resulting in 32 fatalities. NBS Television heavily covered the disaster, airing special documentaries and survivor accounts detailing how the unlicensed, mechanically faulted vessel sank just 500 meters from Mutima Beach.
Everyone was excited. Like any other normal day, and we were all looking forward to the what? To the cruise.
It was a sitting time bomb.
So the waves kept on hitting the boat from one end to keep swinging. Just turned and we're all poured in.
Joined us that we're live on Lake Victoria, where a boat capsized this evening and about...
The battle began. The battle for life and death. A few screams of help us. I saw it with my own eyes.
Each day, the magnificent spectacle of Lake Victoria washes to its shore water waves of serenity and calm. It serves up some of the country's best views when the morning sun rests off of its bow. Fishermen draw their nets, school children board their boats, and even revelers paddle in their sets. The Lake Victoria has for years served the three countries that arc around it, providing an economy, an integration, and a society almost entirely on its own. It has also created a shared sense of purpose and a shared sense of loss in its good and bad days. One of those bad days was the evening of November the 24th, when an estimated 100 people set sail from the Gaba landing site. Joseph Harold and his friend had been planning for months about this boat ride.
In the morning, it was just like any other normal day, and we were all looking forward to the what? To the cruise. A friend of mine had taken me shopping a day before. He wanted me to dress like him. So in the morning, I went through the clothes that we had bought, and then I thought about the cold on the boat. Like, no. I was putting on sandals and the jeans and the t-shirt. I took my t-shirt. 10:30, most of us were already there. Even our host, Uncle Freeman, was already there. It clocked 11. The boat hadn't arrived yet. And he was like, you know what? We are going to have fun. So let's start, drinking whatever you're doing, order for whatever you want. And it was all on him. Around midday, still, the boat hadn't arrived. And he was making a phone calls to the guy that had organized the boat for us. And the gentleman was telling us that he's on his way. He's on his way.
There had been reservations even from the revelers when the boat did not show.
Uncle Freeman was like, I think we should just cancel this boat thing. That was around 3. But everyone was excited. They were like, no, you can't cancel it at this time. You can't. So it was like, okay, fine. So it comes. Then it had to stop somewhere. It couldn't get closer to the shore. It had to stop somewhere, and then we had to get small boats to get onto it.
But what had happened in the 6 hours that Joseph and his friends arrived at Gaba Beach and the time the boat was finally ready to take them? Why was the boat, which was supposed to find them at Gaba, then waiting for them at KK Beach? To answer these questions, we spent months digging up information around the boat and speaking to people who knew its operations more closely. We also obtained and will now show for the first time an exclusive report that was conducted on the boat just days after it capsized. It all starts with this written confirmation by the boat's former captain.
On the morning of the fateful day, I was just at the beach when my bosses Michael Templar Bisase and his wife Sheila told me that the boat would be sailing. I told them I would not steer the boat on that day because they had not heeded my warning about the need for repair and maintenance of the boat. It was in such a worrying condition. I had informed them earlier that the boat was leaking, but they did not take my advice seriously.
To understand it, we turned to the make of the boat. The ill-fated MV Templar was designed to be a fishing boat in the early 1980s. It was installed in it a Dongfeng engine of 220 horsepower. To make it commercially viable, the owners of the MV Templar made key structural changes to it. First, the 220 horsepower engine required to propel it was removed, and in its place, a cheaper but costly option was used. 2 Yamaha engines of 115 and 90 horsepower each. This change robbed the boat of 15 horsepower, one that in the ebbing time of its capsize would have been crucial to propel it to a safe place. The second structural change that then became crucial was the plating of the boat. In its initial design, the boat was given steel plating for its deck, but when Bisase acquired it, he made changes and added concrete to this deck. These changes added to the weight of the boat, and yet they were never taken into account for the balancing of the boat.
You find that in the wheelhouse there was vertically nothing. She was being operated like a local boat. So that means that maneuverability of that vessel at that level was quite very complicated. She was built with an inbuilt engine. But because of high maintenance costs of inbuilt engines, the owners felt that they should change, and then they put outboard engines. They connected them, and they were being manned by a local skipper with no experience on navigation and maneuverability of vessels.
So when the boat set sail first, a puncture hole at the plating let in water that washed down the two engines and made them non-functional.
And they would fix it. You would see them fidgeting with it, trying to fix it. The engine would just die.
The overly packed boat then remained afloat for a few more minutes before it tipped over.
There was a time when it stopped in the middle of the water, before it actually got dark. It stopped for like 30 minutes. And you could see the captain in, and then this gentleman who had organized, who had actually prepared the boat for us, would go under. There was some part where they would go under, and then you see them asking for certain equipment, give us that, give us this, and you would see them because they would open some place. But of course, for us who were, the boat had two compartments. There was a compartment like we'd call the VIP, where we thought was the VIP where we would sit, and then there was the back one, and then the captain was in the middle. So it's that part that they used to open inside there and try to fidget with the boat. So that's when we realized that something was amiss.
There was no certified navigational equipment. There were no competent crews.
An exclusive and unpublished investigation done after the boat capsized described these changes as affecting the quality, stability, and safety of the boat. It also adds that the changes didn't take into account the standard maritime laws or good seamanship practice.
The boat itself was modified. She was a trawler, a marine vessel which is used for commercial fishing. But here in this case, she was turned into a boat for leisure, a cruise boat. That modification of the vessel is the main cause of the accident. And when investigations were held, actually we found that that was completely the main cause, because they changed the stability of the vessel from its original stability to the new stability which they had. It's a steel-made vessel, but they modified her using concrete. And the concrete was put on the bad steel, which was already rotting on the main deck. So when you found the vessel, when it was in the good days, you would find a very nice concrete slab laid on top, not knowing that it was a sitting time bomb. So as water kept on entering, you wouldn't realize because you're having fun on top. So at the end of the day, the water spaces that are available to hold the vessel to be able to displace enough water to remain on top were filled with water.
And then there was this strong wave. So the waves kept on hitting the boat from one end, and then of course it would keep swinging. And that's when the captain was telling us, please balance the boat, because that's the one we could. But again, it had died like 45 minutes before, when we were like quite in the middle of the water.
have a vessel like that which carries more than 30 people, you're supposed to have a crew who have studied some basic safety training in maritime operations. In this case, there was only the skipper with no crew. So if people have a problem, you have no expert to go and tell them, please go to this box, go to this box. So everybody started saying, balance the boat, and it became a song. If we're all standing on one side, the boat will capsize. If we go to the other side, it will capsize. So you try to balance the boat so that it's in the middle. But this is supposed to be done by an expert. So on a minimum, that vessel should have had a skipper and about 3 crew to help the skipper. One at the bow of the vessel, one at the stern.
Where we saw things were really getting bad is when the generator and the speaker fell in water, because now the swinging was really intense. It fell in water and the music went off and the light went off. And you know that glare that is in your eyes when you have had a flash of light in you and then it just goes off. So it was quite, darkish. Now this other time the boat the third time it swung once on the left and then it came back onto our right. And I saw it with my own eyes, just turned and were all poured in.
Rounding this unfortunate incident, but we can confirm, if you have just joined us, that we're live on Lake Victoria, where a boat capsized this evening and about a number of people have lost their lives. But also we'll be getting in touch with police to try to find out the exact circumstances, what happened.
Now that's where the battle began. The battle for life and death, because trust me, for everyone that survived, I think they came face to face with death. I took in water for a while because I remember I went down 4 times. You'd go down, then you'd just find a way coming back, and then someone would hold you down again. And then somehow I just found myself floating. I've never even floated in a swimming pool, but there I was floating. But I was really, really tired. So tired that I'd probably given up. Personally, I screamed for 3 minutes, and then it went quiet, and all you heard is a few screams of help us, help us. And then you'd hear some people say, my kids. And these guys, because of the strong waves, they had given up. They were going back, the fishermen that came to help us.
This raises the question on who made these structural changes. In his written confession, the boat captain says the changes were done by a local welder who didn't have the necessary expertise to repair boats.
When you're going to modify a vessel, you're supposed to notify the administration on hand that you want to modify a vessel from one type of vessel to another. So this time they did not. They modified it according to the way they thought best would modify.
But what could have pressured the boat owner Bisase to make these rash changes? According to manifests that we have seen from the Cape Palm beach, 8th October had been the last recorded sail of the MV Templar. It was then grounded for repairs to be made. Those repairs didn't start until November the 20th, 4 days to the ill-fated sail. It is this rush that culminated into this. 33 people died in the incident. 26 were rescued.
We have also deep divers who are going down to check near the wreckage. We suspect some bodies are stuck because of the weight.
The tumultuous history of drowning on Lake Victoria has long been swept under the ranks, but like a story that won't go away, it stays. We go miles away from Mutima Beach to the fishing village of Kasensero. Here, a community of fishermen have since been hemmed into silence by disappearances they can't explain, drownings they can't stop, and calamities only those brave enough to stay the night know.
Yagenda okusika bwati okutimba timba ne bukutuka yebakayo bwebasi nagenda okwada wadde okumukwata yabuluka omulundi gwokubisaddamu kumulaba.
Many of the journeys that happen in the Lake Victoria happen during the light of day, but some of those journeys happen in the depths of the night like now, and it's that time when many of them actually become dangerous. In the months following the Mutima incident, a lot of discussions have taken root in the country on the safety of boats, on an emergency rescue service, on justice for the victims. But for people like Joseph, these discussions are life-saving. While he made it, his friend didn't, and so did 31 other people. We've since established that the boat wasn't licensed, and in its shape, it would never have passed a seaworthiness test. We have also been shown how the poor workmanship affected the quality and safety of the boat. The question we remain with is, how many other MV Templars are an accident in waiting, and who is caring for them?
It's one of those things that is still fresh in my head, that sometimes I even fall off my bed because it's like as if I'm dreaming and the boat is capsizing, so I find myself on the floor. It's something you cannot describe.
Raymond Mujuni, NBS Investigates.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Life unfolds in chapters. Through many of these chapters, Jubilee has been present. But life does not happen in separate chapters, and protection should not